3 picks as well. And it's exactly what we had in game number 2 so far as well, Alan.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Alliance wants the back half of that draft back. I think that's what's going on. Because I think they are
You don't think this is just adjustments along the way?
I think honestly, I think Mag and Alk are going to win you a lot of Dota games.
Okay.
I think the part of the issue, 33 had 284 GPM at the end of that game. That's his 5th lowest out of 98 games this patch. He was really shut down. And I think you put him on something other than a Beastmaster where he's comfortable in lane and he can impact that game. Things look very, very different, even with the 2 solo kills mid.
Yeah, this isn't just like you and I trying to save our own skin. I will stick by that Alliance should have won that last game.
Yeah.
I am perfectly content with Alliance doing exactly what they did in the draft, despite the fact that they lost the last one.
But does that not mean that Gambit want to do the same thing because they think they did everything right?
I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
We were talking about it between games here. One of the best things you can do as a captain or have on your team is a mid laner that you just say, hey man, what are you going to carry the game with? Like, give us your hero. And to us, it didn't really make much sense. On paper, Ember Spirit hasn't been very successful. It's not like the perfect Ember Spirit game, but I think Gambit's very confident. We're just doing exactly what they did last game and seeing if it works again.
I'm not saying it is happening, but how next level mind game would it be if Alliance lost the 2nd game on purpose so they could get the same draft and beat them with it in the 3rd?
Wow. Let me find my tinfoil hat here under the desk. No, I think, honestly, you're going to have a better offlane pick. I really do believe that. And I think maybe if you had to do it over again, that you go Dazzle mid and place the Lina.
Okay. Yeah, and
because that would have
the Legion Commander you would want back in? Or?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. Give me 33 Legion. I think you win that game.
They got the Dazzle banned out last game, so I'd look to see them pick it 4th. Like last game, the absolute last ban.
Oh yeah, they
Gambit.
did.
So they picked the Beastmaster, and then they win the Lina last round. I think enabling the Alk's the key. Like
it's the same bans as well for Alliance.
Yeah, it's. Oh, there's the. Okay, so it's almost.
Oh yeah, next level.
They're seeing what we're seeing, right? They're like, oh, Alliance realizes what happened last game. They're gonna go for the Dazzle. That's hilarious. The stories that can be told over the course of just a best of 3 in the drafts alone is always quite hilarious.
We talk about metas within best of 5s, but we do get metas in best of 3s.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Same 3 heroes again. I mean, like, obviously we've already commented so far, but Rubik was their 3rd pick last game on Gambit.
And this would have been the Lich last game for Alliance.
So do they go Jakiro this time round?
Jakiro into Rubik is
rough.
It's
rough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not the line.
The pub numbers really are telling because
it's a better Jakiro, basically.
Yes. Yeah. 0-second ice pass.
Yeah.
I don't think you go Lich, but I'm struggling to see.
Undying got banned.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. Oh yeah.
Echo Slammer Jab. Is that your brother?
Yes.
I always wonder.
That's not the promo. That's not gonna get you that sick discount, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. No 25% off there. I mean, you can tell we're all struggling to see what Alliance should pick here. They're spending a lot of time, most likely going to be their 5 position. They want to leave the mag flex pick at least until 4th.
Well, you could Ogre.
Yeah, I was going to say Ogre.
Oh, okay, I'm fine with Ogre.
I think they banned it out 2nd phase last time, right?
Yeah, you know what, Ogre.
I
should have said it. I said I wanted to save, and okay, so they're doing the exact same thing on Gambit.
They're just like, yeah, we won last game. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we won in 25 minutes. Come at me, bro.
I should have the confidence. I couldn't think of any other saves left in the pool. Shadow Demon and Wyvern already being banned out in the 5 position. I think if this game you have a save for the Alchemist, since you're all in on this hero. Last time they were all in the previous series, they had what, like 4 heals? Yeah. Like 3 saves, and that made it so Alk first pick was much more dangerous. Last game they could just afford
there it
focus that out.
Is, baby. That is the offlaner that's going to tip the scales in this game. The 33 Night Stalker, he single-handedly brought this hero back into the meta last season as an offlaner. This tournament, we've seen it more as a safe laner in the hands of Gabby, but that is the kind of hero that he's going to be able to get into the middle of that Gambit Esports lineup and put pressure. That you go ahead and pick Ember again. That's what that Night Stalker pick says.
My concern for Alliance is the 10 to 15 minute mark when Night Stalker ult is on cooldown. I don't know what you do. All your heroes kind of just do nothing. I will say that is my one concern, right? I'm trying to be devil's advocate here. I am in favor of Alliance's adjustments so far in this draft, but this is like last game where you have this Beastmaster type hero that's feast or famine. Like if this Night Stalker gets shut down early, I think you're gonna see a rinse and repeat where he's not a hero that's useful with nothing. He does need a few items to come online. You're most likely gonna see like the Vlads, maybe like the Solar Crest, all these enabling alch items.
Is it harder to shut him down in the first 15?
It's hard to shut him down past the 5 minute mark, but if you can like neuter him in like the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game, then it just gets out of hand against a hero like Void. So the problem that I'm saying here is that they don't have a recovery mechanism. They don't like take towers, they don't de-push very well on Alliance, so they're leaving themselves vulnerable. So I'm keeping people's attention to the fact that if that happens, they could have a repeat of the first game, or the second game.
Once again, we're looking at that mid matchup in the last 2 picks here.
That's what it's boiled down to every game in this series so far. Most notably, Gambit, I believe, has that absolute last pick all 3 games. And we talked about the importance of that going into this series, and Gambit clearly on the same page. They, carry me off laner, or mid laner, excuse me. That's usually my approach as well.
I think it's just the lane that's so much more vulnerable to tipping the balance of the game. We talk about early kills not mattering, but those mid lane kills, the exception to that rule. I like the OD ban. Just anytime that you're second to last pick, anytime you're 9th pick overall, that OD is a hero that you're scared of being countered by the Pugner or Sniper, but you don't want them to have.
I like Tiny here.
I like it's limp, man.
Just give me, limp Tiny. It's a safe pick. What I mean is, it's not gonna have what happened to Lina last game happen. Maybe it doesn't win its lane, but it's not gonna have that happen. And I think they need a playmaker in the early to mid game that's not the Night Stalker. Like, okay, that is a playmaker that's aggressive, but it is vulnerable to a lane counter again. I know Gyro does have a few pretty poor matchups. His like early laning stage before like level 3, 4-ish, very weak base damage.
Again, that's just it's a limp. I love it. It's a limp special. And again, when you think about Gyro's magic damage output, his magic damage output comes online at exactly the time that Alliance likes to start 5 mana, starts forcing these engagements. He's also here. It feels really greedy, but it's less so the way they play it. But
exact 5 heroes from game 2.
And that's the problem. Is Gyro any better in lane against the Ember than the Lina? Because I think a lot of people would have Lina rated higher against Ember than Gyro.
They do have the Oracle for the Flame Guard this game, so in the mid game it's not nearly as powerful, but I have to believe Alliance is better than losing to the exact same 5 heroes twice in a row, and I think they've made the proper adjustments. So I don't want it to work for Gambit, but I honestly would be majorly impressive if it does.
When was the last time we had a team playing a lower bracket final in the 3rd game of it and played exactly the same draft? I can't remember.
I don't know.
And I think
it's ballsy, isn't it?
It's ballsy, but I think the X factor is the 33 Night Stalker. He's the one that I think can short circuit this Gambit lineup if he can get into the middle. But if Gambit can shut him down early, get through those first couple night times, you could see history repeat.
All right, time to get into our 3rd and final game of the lower bracket. This one's for all the marbles. Who goes to the grand final? Let's find out.
Well, you don't get any bigger balls than this. FNG, Game 3, elimination on the line, or grand finals on the line. And he says, I'm gonna pick the exact same lineup, deal with it.
Yeah, that was a complete deja vu. I'm not really sure. I guess he thought that, he was like, this is literally the perfect lineup.
I looked at it, I was like, maybe Omni-Knight Void, maybe they think it's an unbeatable opening. And then I looked at the supports and I was like, maybe they just think Rubik Grimstroke is unbeatable. And then they last picked Ember Spirit, and maybe they think this entire lineup is just good to go no matter what.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how it works, though. What do you think of Alliance's adjustments?
I mean, I actually thought their draft, I still stand to the fact that like their draft was fine last game. Talking to most people backstage,
yeah,
in BSJ, like we also thought that the draft was still pretty straightforward.
Okay.
But you know, sometimes it doesn't work like that. People can get outplayed pretty hard, and Alliance obviously overthought their strength in the previous game, but this time around, I mean, I'm not really sure. Like I guess the Oracle is a lot nicer. Like that's a save.
Yeah.
You have instead of, what did they have as their support last game? Was it Lich? A hard save instead of a Lich.
Yeah.
So, and it's better against the mid Ember too, since you can dispel the Flame Guard.
Yeah, better against the Ember, better with the Alchemist because he has that high amount of regen. You don't even have to heal him necessarily, with False Promise doubling the disable, or doubling the regen. He's just usually going to heal up to full no matter what. And again, Gambit don't have a ton of burst either, so Oracle works in that favor. The Gyrocopter is going to be a big difference here for Limp as we go for the Bounty Runes. Alliance, though,
They're going to take 3.
they're going to take 3. Great start. Do you think the Gyrocopter, Nahas was talking about the fact that he felt like Lina was better against Ember Spirit than Gyrocopter? What do you think this mid difference is going to be?
I think, have I seen this matchup before? I think I've seen actually Koikva versus Limp practice it.
Yeah.
And it's okay, but I think the Ember has a fine time in it eventually.
Yeah.
But this time around, I need Limp to at least go even in this lane. Like, him getting crushed by GPK made that game, I feel, really hard.
Wouldn't be the first time that Limp, you know, we started out this tournament talking about how good he was as a laner, but then he proceeded to lose to Armel. Now he's lost to GPK. He's got to redeem himself.
And he did win the first matchup.
Yep.
He fought versus Razor, so the skill is definitely there. You just need it in practice right now.
Once again, we're gonna have this Omni Knight trying to pressure the Alchemist, but I just don't think he's gonna be able to do a whole lot. Hanskin, he'll be trying to pull constantly, which Vampire's gonna protect as much as possible. And so, as a result, with both supports out of the lane most of the time, Nico Baby just gets a one-on-one. In which case, he's gonna be CSing a lot. Night Stalker, I mean, they did a good job of pressuring Dream last time. Even if the Beastmaster did die a lot later on towards the laning phase, Dream was very low on CS as a result of that. Do you think the Night Stalker will fare a little bit better than the Beast?
I mean, maybe. In this lane, I think he should be fine, right? It's kind of hard for him to die. Like, the only time I ever see 33 die is when they try to go for these, like, trade kills.
Yeah.
Remember when he played Abaddon versus that Night Stalker lane against Gabby?
Yeah.
The only time we ever saw him die was when he decided to trade his life. And I don't actually know if it's ever worth it. I'd prefer if he was a little bit more patient, didn't rush his game so much.
They will have a very clear counter to the initiation aspect, because they do have the Fortune's End, which can purge off the Inkswell, causing it to instantly explode, basically doing no damage and very little stun. So that'll kill a lot of opportunities, so Dream is probably going to have to play a lot more passive.
I do like the Night Stalker in this game, by the way.
Yeah.
I feel like he gets on top of the Ember Spirit. Obviously, the way that the fear works is as long as you're on top, you can't really cast any spells. You're tanky enough once you get things like Blink Dagger. I mean, 33 for me was like the original Night Stalker player.
Yeah.
And this guy gets to play Night Stalker in any meta, and I can't blame him. Because he was playing it when it was dumpster tier.
That's true.
The fun part about this game, though, is that Alliance gets to just like run it back in a very similar situation. Obviously, they know more or less how Gambit want to play this lineup. What's interesting to me is...
Oh, geez, look at that top lane. He almost dies, and Vampire is going to run into him in a second here, but Nico Baby's already healed up enough that right clicks aren't going to do it. He does have a Fate Bolt here in a second, and actually Nico Baby jukes back into him. Now the Fate Bolt is up. He just needs the vision. Somebody give it to him, and Shotchlow makes sure he runs over. That's going to be your first blood for Vampire.
And this is kind of funny because we saw this exact lane where Nico Baby got absolute free farm.
Yeah.
This exact lane, literally nothing has changed. And this time around, instead of getting free farm, I mean, the Omni's doing much better, and they get the first blood onto him.
I always find these kind of games fascinating because of that, right? Because so many times you just don't get to see the same lanes match up against each other.
Yeah.
And see people play it a little bit different. Because everyone has an idea of what lanes are going to win, but so many times players can surprise you.
Yeah, it's like, it was like they agreed to a scrim, and they're like, We just kind of want to see how it goes the second time around.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So I mean, at least Alliance should feel very comfortable and just try to replicate that same success, but this time around.
Oh, bottom lane. They do have the Inkswell that's going to be purged off. A little bit of stun onto 33. No second bash, though, for Dream. So they'll miss out on that kill. We can see already the Oracle counter against the Grimstroke, and that's going to be a good counter later on against the Ember Spirit.
I would like to see a different item build from Nico Baby, by the way. Just, I didn't really agree with the Blink Dagger choice or the Manta decision. Going for something like Heart or BKB. BKB is excellent against Void. You take away so much of his damage. His Bash, his Maelstrom. When you're chronoed up and you pop your BKB, or you have your BKB pop before it chronos you, he can't do anything to you.
Yeah.
Or if he has a Heart, you just have the raw HP to tank through it. Like, either option is fine.
Dream, he actually manages to get the bash onto 33. That results in Dream getting in front of him to be able to get that bounty rune, and it looks like the second one as well.
You're gonna get all 4 bounty
All
runes.
4 bounty runes for Gambit. That is
That
a big
slows
one.
down your timing so much as an Alchemist, as they're gonna pop the Shrine here too with GPK. And again, we're just seeing deja vu, but a little bit better from Gambit.
Yeah. Is the mid lane going any different? Well, yeah, it looks like it. Limp, he is winning in CS while the Ember Spirit is away, and obviously he hasn't died yet, so.
Already a much better start than last game if he hasn't died twice at this point.
It's just like, whenever I've seen these sort of matchups where at least one team picks the same lineup, it's never the same result. I don't think I've ever seen it. Almost always the enemy team is able to make the adjustments to beat a lineup. So it's incredibly, I guess, courageous, we'll say, of FNG to do that.
Yeah, because the enemy team now has complete familiarity with your lineup.
Yeah. And then I guess if we lose, then that old proverb about the fine line between bravery and stupidity will come into play.
Just a sentry dewarded by Vampire.
Top CS for Shotchlo, and Nico Baby has already gone to jungle, just like last time, giving Hanskin the solo lane. Just like last time, we're going to have our Army Knight try and cut creep waves and do what he can to pressure the tower, but he'll need some extra help if he really wants to take it quickly. Because otherwise, Hanskin, with a bit of regen, will just farm up the creep wave.
Smoke up here. Looks like they want to get into the jungle, try to find this Alk before he hits his level 6. They're going to immediately pop it so they know that he's on the high ground here. Nico Baby not going to see
This is
time.
perfect. Last time they were a little slow to make this invasion. Nico Baby had already worked his way to the triangle. Now he gets caught before he makes that rotation. GPK is going to be able to get out as Limp trying to do something in return to recover that.
They're going to drop the
loss out.
sentry ward and not actually correctly guess. Because Gambit just went in there blind.
Different vision as well coming out from Vampire, so.
They got outwarded so hard last game.
Yeah.
I actually feel draft-wise Alliance might have won, but the actual play was entirely Gambit.
And perhaps that outwarding continues. We'll have to see as Fada smokes up, trying to get a good defensive ward. Oh, Shotchlo actually managed to get the kill onto Hanskin. That's a big win. Removing that hero from the lane now means you can pressure that mid. Oh, mid. We're going to lose Limp here as the 2 supports come in. The telekinesis toss back. Eventually that missile will wear out, but Limp is very tanky. Yeah, you're right.
Juan, GPK ran out of his Flame Guard quite quickly, and they don't really quite have the damage for that, but they are putting pressure on him. His CS is just fine. Faceless Void is not doing as well as the Alchemist, but this time around, Shotchlo's had a completely free game. It's Rune gonna be controlled up by Alliance. I like it. They've got somebody at bottom and top.
Purge the missile. Bits of harassment, but what about this Void? They've got the Night Stalker, but 33 doesn't have the levels, really. He's holding on to a point in case he wants to level up Crippling Fear. But nobody is rotating down to that bottom lane to gank for him. And without that silence, he is very susceptible to a Chronosphere. We saw how willing Dream was to use Chrono after Chrono to shut down 33's game early.
Yeah, 33 is having an okay time.
Vampire. This is going to feel real bad, because not only are you going to die, but very likely they know that you were doing some aggressive warding, so.
They need to get rid of this vision.
Yeah.
Last game, it was way too easy for them.
At least one sentry already bought by Fada, but he is so low on net worth right now. He's struggling.
Bottom lane did not get to do too much. Wasn't able to get too aggressive.
That's the thing, it's like the best warders, they use 1 sentry, they find a ward, and then they are able to use that recouped gold to buy more sentries and continue the snowballing of vision advantage. But Fada missed his first 2, finally finds 1.
Indeed does.
30 minutes until the bounty runes. They're always going to be important, but in an Alchemist game, even more so. The Chronosphere, and they're just going to go straight forward. Is Fada in the back lines. They're going to try and burst him down. The Inkswell should be able to explode and get the kill. But now, without a Chronosphere, Limp rotating down. Maybe they can fight for the bounties coming up in 20 seconds, but the Night Stalker is immediately going to be found by GPK. He does manage to get the silence, levels that up pretty quickly, but FNG in trouble. The ultimate popped. Dream, he's going to have to walk away from this one. GPK is going to have to use some remnants even to get out. And they cannot contest this bounty rune.
He might just die. He doesn't have time walk.
He has only 3 levels of the time walk, so it's still on cooldown. But with daytime coming in and the bounties, Alliance just want to play it safe.
I think Limp had no idea.
Yeah.
He just assumed that he's got the 4 levels into it. And now the Alch game starts. They're going to start giving him the Empower. He's going to farm the jungle. This time around, though, his timing is so much slower. At this point, just to give anybody context that wasn't watching, he pretty much had the Relic at this point.
Yeah, he did.
He is about 700 gold behind, so about a full minute than he was in the last game.
And this top tower is going to be dying pretty quickly here too, as Hanskin tries to pull it out with an illusion, but the Siege Wagon will eventually return to lane. Limp, with his rotation down to bottom lane earlier, he's going to stay down there with the Siege Wagon push coming in and try and mirror things as much as possible. But look at Vampire, even he is pushed in the mid lane, is getting a lot of chip damage there. Alliance doing a great job defending their towers right now. 33 is going to plant himself behind the tower to make sure that no one can TP in unnoticed. This kind of says how important they think it is to kill this safe lane tower and open up the jungle for the Alchemist to start invading. Nico Baby played in that jungle a lot last time. The fact that they're willing to let so much damage happen to mid, but finally they're going to rotate over. Fada can't protect himself. The RP almost went out, but the telekinesis was there in time. Vampire protects both himself and his captain FNG from being
well
gone
done by
on.
Vampire, and they got so much damage on this mid tower too.
Yeah.
Catapult was alive for an absurdly long period of time, and they've got 5 heroes here on the side of Alliance. They don't want a repeat of last game where they lost their mid tower and they just weren't able to contest anything. They've even brought their Alch.
They brought so many heroes, but they're going to jump onto the void, get the silence on him, pull him back, but can they actually do the damage to finish him? He's going to be able to time walk a large share of that. Missile still bonks him in the head, though. Dream's not going to be able to get the beautiful Chronosphere he was hoping for unless his telekinesis talks back. The slow one to Limp. Fada holds on to the false promise there. He's waiting for a Chronosphere to come out first.
Likely to lose the tower, though. So we're seeing a very similar game.
Tries to go for the deny. Nicely played by 33. Still had the extra damage up from his Dark Ascension, but now it's back to daytime, and Dream hopes to catch him. No bash, though.
He knows he needs Fada if he wants this.
Fada. He doesn't even need to use his ultimate. Still able to hold on to it. Disarming the void and trying to slow down one of these heroes. They do manage to get the Chronosphere onto 2. This is so aggressive from Dream. It will result in a kill in the 5 position, but now Hans gets swinging and wins, but does manage to hit the RP, locking down 3. Now the silence over the top. They're going to be able to try and slow down these heroes, but the Omni Knights making him also take the rotation in from Gravestroke, and GPK coming in to be able to finish off 1. The buyback coming out from Fada as he false promises himself, but they're not ready to fight with this Alchemist, and Limp doesn't have enough damage against this 5-man that's happening from Gambit. They're going to eventually finish off Fada. That's a dieback from him. This is incredibly aggressive from Gambit, taking advantage of this timing that the Alch simply cannot fight with just a Radiance.
Yeah, this literally looks like last game. They're going to make the same move, take this tier 2 tower, and Alliance, they literally saw the exact same lineup. It's very rare as a caster that I get to see that, but the adjustments just aren't really there.
Hanskin skewer up. He can activate the Shrine if he wants to, but this could still be a fight that Gambit try and take. It is still daytime, though. 33, trying to silence up the Void. Does manage to time walk before the missile lands on him, but they're going to chase. The Rocket Barrage coming out. Shotzilla gets a little bit low. GPK, though, is trying to get those supports. Chases on Hanskin, but he jumps to his defensive Remnant and wasn't able to get enough burst damage to kill that support.
And once again, even though Nico Baby is on top in net worth, the next 3 heroes all Gambit.
Yeah, that gap between the carries is not that big compared to last game.
Oh yeah, last game he had pretty much double. As we see the perfect Chronos here. Alliance had to know this was going to happen, by the way. Dream, what he was really waiting for was
Fodder to show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once he found him, and he even found the perfect positioning on the 33, Hanskin comes in. Shashlip, I love that. He just pops the Guardian Angel.
Yeah.
Before he gets hit by the RP, he realizes the danger that they're in anyways, and they get additional kills because of it.
Even just a little bit of sustain goes a long way when you don't have supports that deal that much damage for you.
And Fodder comes in very confidently, but they had already used the flak, they'd used the call down.
Yeah.
There's no follow-up to try to help him out when it comes to damage. And Gambit are just running over them again.
During daytime, it's all in the gyrocopter to pump out the damage, and they knew 33's Dark Ascension was still on cooldown, so.
The good news, though, is I feel like Nico Baby at least has made the right adjustment. He's going for the BKB.
Yeah.
No Manta or anything like that. Really felt like that hurt them last game.
And it is going to be an interesting test, your suggestion of a different item build, because this is actually a worse game than last time around. We'll see whether that different item build can make the difference. If Gambit actually survives through the mid-game and doesn't get run over like they did last time, we'll see how effective that BKB would have been.
The warding, though, is a little bit different this game. They're not able to get into the triangle. Fada's done a much better job of consistently warding and de-warding in this area. It's pretty broken where, like, 18 minutes in the game, you can get 2 different wards down into the enemy triangle. Makes it so that Nico Baby is just really afraid at all times. Because farming in the triangle is nice when you're trying to defend your tier 2 because you can make that rotation over like we saw.
Right.
You do want the Alk to be a presence on the map without actually having to come over. The threat of him alone should be enough, not really knowing where he is.
BKB is almost here already for the Alchemist, but...
And the BKB blink is a much better decision because I feel like he gets to the back line with this build.
Yeah.
They can't do too much to him. As Vampire, he sees the other ward too once he gets up there.
Still, Gambit, they're just going tower by tower, taking tier 2 top, now heading for mid.
You can't give up on the vision game if you're Fada.
Yeah.
This is what hurt you last time so hard. It's the little things that you won't normally see. Being able to see where the Alk is farming at all times, setting up for Chronos for free.
They're losing so much farming time from Gambit just kind of posturing around, because Alliance still wants to be able to fight sometimes. 33's farm has been ruined as a result of that, right? They keep on trying to say, man, we should be able to defend this tower, we should be able to fight. And all the time while they're fighting, they're not farming, and 33's still level 7 with just bracers and phase moves. Telekinesis.
A little bit low here.
Pulling him back here, but there is going to be Fada. There's so many good saves there with the Fate's Edict, denying a lot of the magic damage.
I mean, the real combo starts when Nico Baby decides to enter the game, and they've got the Alk plus Oracle combo, because Fada, with any other hero right now, just feels very bad. Does have the BKB, likely to wait for the blink before they decide to get aggressive.
Do you think that's why Alliance is sacrificing their other course games so much? It's because they think this combo is just going to take over the game?
When you see the exact lineup, then you kind of assume that, yeah, like hopefully this is the difference.
Well, we had the BKB, now the blink is about to come up. They found Limp though, trying to body block him as best as possible. Limp drops his ultimate to be able to slow down these heroes, but the time dilation and the Chronosphere are going to be used to make sure there's no chance of Limp getting out alive. I think Dream just wanted to make sure there was no Oracle behind him or anything like that.
Yeah, and Liv was, in fact, completely by his lonesome. Something underrated, too, is they haven't really been able to get aggressive wards out.
Yeah.
They just placed their first one here, which means that they're really just relegated to farming in their jungle because they don't see any vision outside the map. And I like this move by Gambit.
Yeah.
They're just going to leave Dream alone, make the move up as 4. You can't just show 5 heroes and farm out the jungle. I feel like that slows down your game a little bit too much, but Nico Baby, because he now has a BKB, without the Chronosphere, he can't die.
Yeah.
This is really what they needed. They're going to click his hero, see that he's got...
They're going to try and get some fast initiation. Forced out the BKB, though.
He's got Blink Dagger. He's going to get aggressive.
Kill onto the Rubik. Does he have any backup, though? Fada's trying to get there, but their Force Staff and the Purification, that's going to be able to buy Vampire some time, especially with Guardian Angel, preventing a lot of that physical damage from 33. They're going to be able to keep him in place with the Telekinesis as well as the Chains. Not enough damage, though.
Oh, I don't love that, though. Nico Baby was really afraid.
Yeah.
There's no Chronosphere. I feel like he should bait out that BKB a little bit longer. His ulti was already popped and the regen is already kicked in.
Yep.
But that's a 10-second BKB charge now used on the back of just a smoke. You'll take that trade every single time.
I would also say if Fada's like a little bit closer to him, he wouldn't ever be that scared. Right?
I really need Fada to just play around Nico Baby right now. I need one of the two supports to play around this guy.
Yeah.
You can't be this greedy at this phase of the game. All that matters is get your Alk farmed, let him carry you. That's not what they were able to do last game. Don't make the same mistake this game. You get to Groundhog Day it, take a second
run it back.
chance. Yeah, exactly. Learn from your mistakes in that game. Play around your...
They're setting up for the Faceless Void. They want to catch out Dream before he gets his meal in there. Not able to get the silence in time, but the unstable concoction is there. But because they used the silence so early, Dream is going to be able to time walk almost immediately. He doesn't have the Chronosphere though. The Courier coming in, it almost dies. It does manage to give its item away to the Night Stalker and juke it out. But the Gyrocopter trying to chase down FNG. Good Force Staff gets him away. Missile will bonk him. Nico Baby looks to be able to finish him off. Now a nice skewer into two with the RP on top of him. Now 33 running through them with the silence. Doesn't actually go for shots though. They're going to leave that to the Gyrocopter and Nico Baby. He wants to be able to catch the Void here, but the daytime is going to slow him down significantly. They're going to try and TP to the other side of the map. That's why GPK looks to be able to cancel that, but Alchemist was a second TP. He'll be able to get at least one of those bounties. 3 for Alliance after a one-team fight.
Very well done by Alliance. They were just set up so much better. It's getting to the supports that matter. Like, that was very well done by Limp. He got on top of FNG. Once you lose your supports, Gambit can't really fight at that point, and Shashlo had to use his Force Staff, which I was a really big fan of that item pickup. It saved him so many different times.
Yeah.
Didn't have it up for himself, though. They're going to see Nico Baby almost has the AC. This time around, Alliance have done a much better job of just slowing down the game and just not making it impossible for their carry to actually carry the game. As Vampire going to get run into here, he's going to steal.
Okay. Purifying Flames, not quite enough to finish him off with Purification.
Force Staff once again.
He does survive.
Their cores are still doing okay on the side of Gambit, but Alliance have the gold lead, pulling a little bit ahead right now.
At AC, that's going to be a really big pickup.
Yeah. And I like now that the supports have made the adjustments. Play around your Alk. That's what allowed them to take that fight bottom. He'll find all the other heroes because Gambit want to initiate on that Alk.
Right.
But naturally, you know, you'll start the fight that way anyways.
So for Gambit, since they haven't been able to just kind of run over Alliance during this timing, like they did last game,
Ember's got BKB
defensively
now.
around the high ground, they are going to be popping the BKB on GPK. Locks down the two of them. This is a beautiful setup, but Nico Baby's still tough to be able to bring down with his BKB. That's why the Chronosphere goes down to the backline instead. Both the supports are already dead for Alliance, but so too the support's dead from Gambit. Immediately buyback coming out from Rubik. They do have the Guardian Angel being used, trying to deal with that flank cannon. They're all going to retreat back to their tower, but Nico Baby, he still wants to chase forward. He does have Unstable Concoction and the Blink Dagger. He's going to try and go for the Omni Knight. Take away this Purification, but the slowdown, 33, he was trying to close in with the silence, but because of GPK's great Searing Chains, it actually stops the silence from getting on top of the Omni Knight. He's able to get the Purification on himself to live.
And Alliance used 2 buybacks just for that fight.
Oh, telekinesis toss back. Nico Baby, they know he doesn't have the BKB, but there is still Fada behind him, ready to go with False Promise.
Gambit need to win, or at least be able to disengage, take even fights for this to be a thing. They need this BKB timing to run out. And Fada, once again, positioning-wise, just getting caught out, not able to get his ulti. Anytime he gets chronoed, Dream's going to be pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
And they instantly pop the 2 buybacks on the supports.
What is this? Gambit.
Don't have the Chronosphere, but they're still going to go for it anyways.
Trying to sneak one in like this with the empowered up Faceless Void. They're saying that that steal from the Rubik is good enough for them to try and take this Roshan. It's already down to half health, but Alliance are around this area. They have no Dark Ascension, so it is a really hard fight for them. But they do have an RP. They need to be able to get vision inside the pit. Nico Baby, is he going to run in? Limp? Maybe he's going to chop down the call down. They see how low it is. Limp's going to make the call, trying to rush inside the pit, but he's been chained up and won't be able to get there in time. Now the Aegis is on top of him, and Dream wants to be able to take this engagement, even without the Chronosphere. Just the Inkswell is good enough for him. Limp is forced to pop his BKB, turns, gets a couple flat cannon shots. Nico Baby stuns himself. He doesn't activate his BKB, and now he may be in trouble. Almost bursted down, but that's why the save comes out from the False Promise. Gambit. They forced that out of Nico Baby, and then just quickly retreated, reset the team fight.
That's what you need to do. You can trade one support for that and you'd be okay as well. Just reset the fight, make him use his BKB, get those charges down, whittle it down. You've got a lot of control and a lot of magic damage on your side, provided you're able to get that BKB low without just losing complete control of the game. And that's why you take this Aegis, you go for that risky play, you're playing to win at that point. You're making it so that the Alk just feels even more pressure.
The Alchemist has double the net worth of the highest Gambit hero in the Ember Spirit, and yet they're only up 2,000 net worth. Smoke up. They're gonna try and make their initiation with the Chronosphere. It is there to be able to catch out Limp. They know the False Promise is still on cooldown from the Oracle, and Limp, as tanky as he may be, will eventually die.
They're gonna go high ground again.
These timings, they just keep on abusing them every single time there's something big on cooldown like Dark Ascension or False Promise. Gambit forced the fight.
It's gonna be nighttime now though.
Can they get the bounty runes? Good play from 33 to get to the other side, so they split it 2 for 2.
Dream doesn't have Chronosphere for another 100 seconds. And even though the Alk is so far, again, they need Limp.
They need somebody else to
They need
help carry,
33.
right?
They need somebody to split this burden. This Alk's BKB is eventually going to get low. Everybody from the side of Gambit are getting farmed. You need at least one other hero in a game like this to be able to carry you.
And 33 is going to try and help, but he's building into a BKB, so he's not going to have that big AoE damage that an Aghanim Scepter does for you. And because the early BKB choice from Limp, which was smart, they were beginning to get run at for sure, but it slows down his farm as well when you don't have the Maelstrom or the Aghanim Scepter as well. Big farming tools for a hero like this. 26-minute power runes. Gambit always making sure they're in a position to collect those.
Yeah. Josh, though, always keeping up in farm with his other 2 cores. That Force Staff purchased by him, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That set up like 4 different fights for Gambit.
So sick and so necessary against a Night Stalker. Quite helpful against Gyrocopter, too.
And you see Fada's net worth. That buyback, the dieback, in fact, early on. 1,500 net worth.
And all the Sentry he's been buying.
Yeah, trying to get rid of the Vision, but Gambit still has Vision up there. They see all heroes right now.
Ward right there, and this may result in a good Chronosphere in 8 seconds time. Dream is not ready to go just yet, though.
Fada, once again, they're losing the Vision battle. They're finding ways to sneak Vision into that triangle, and it's making it hard for them to play a normal game. Nico maybe gonna run into Shoshlo for the time being. 33 has his BKB, so it looks like they do want to fight, or at least get a little bit more aggressive than they have been.
Fada, it seems, has matured a lot as a player. Certainly not somebody you would expect to be able to captain given his temperament 2-3 years ago, but he said that he's learned a lot since then. He's ready to take on a leadership role for Alliance.
They're gonna see Vision the entire time. They see Fada too. They see the Alk on the high ground. This would be ideal. They could get at least 2
where
of the heroes
Fada
here.
is. He wants to be able to get the Chronosphere on him and one other if possible. The Unstable Concoction, stunning himself, and they have to know there's got to be Vision here, right? And Fada will finally find it. Maybe it's not too late. The sound's coming out. It's a little bit too late to catch Dream before the time walk, but now it's Dream. He's just going to turn and fight 33. Fortunately, BKB might be able to buy him a little bit of space, threatening the Chronosphere instead. Going for Limp.
Really
Limp's
far
going
out by
to
himself.
pop his BKB as well, but now these BKBs are going to run their timer. Nico Baby goes for the back line, trying to get the Omni Knight. Dream, over for a bash, not quite there. Guardian Angel out from Shoshlo, and another great Force Staff into the high ground. Great retreat from Gambit, but it's about to run its end. The Chronosphere, they're going to turn, catching the 2 cores with Inkswell on top of that. He's going to go for Limp. The Gyrocopter feeling he's got the more damage. False Promise is there. That's why they turned to Nico Baby instead for the RP. That's going to be a beautiful one, but they can't quite finish off Dream because he's got the Aegis. They can't overcommit for this one. And the Gyrocopter still dies. He doesn't get enough heals. 33 is going to get caught. He was trying to go to the back line, but he dies as well. A 1-for-2 exchange.
They had Vision up there for way too long.
Yeah.
Nico Baby put in a position where he feels like he has to pop the BKB. The double Force Staff, the coordination from Gambit right now, just outplaying Alliance. We're unable to ever start a team fight. So Nico Baby feels like he has to play reactive Dota.
Yep.
He's getting a little bit too skittish. And by the time his BKB's over, he can't really do too much.
Killing that Grimstroke, a great choice for 33, but just a little bit too late to stop some of those spells.
This position right here, once the RP is laid out, that's where you want your BKB up.
Yeah. The fact that they had to blow it so early, and Gambit just kited them around beautifully. And Gambit, I mean, they're just playing to farm at this point. They're okay with the way the game's going. They're keeping the net worth relatively even against an Alchemist lineup that is eventually going to run its course. He's going to have to start handing out Aghanims because he is 6 slotted right now. He's going to get the first one to Limp.
There's some very good ags, though, to give in this game.
Yeah.
Very, very game-changing ags to give. Limp can get one, 33 can get one. Hanskins and Fadas are kind of whatever for this game.
I think Hanskins is actually pretty good for this game.
Double shockwave back and forth. Yeah, it's all right, but it's not as game-changing as like the 2 core ones. That's the ones that you care about.
For sure.
His Dream, they're still here as 5. Alliance, Smoke's gonna pop. He's gonna walk onto the high ground. They know there's no Chronosphere. Dream's gonna get out for a second. Doesn't have the Aegis. Looks like they were just trying to fight over the bounty runes. But Nico Baby is still pressing forward. They're gonna find Limp, chains him up, and Dream 20 seconds until that Chrono. That's why they're not immediately jumping on this fight.
Gambit, again, are just gonna try and see if they can force out a BKB or something from Limp.
How long is Nico Baby's now? Oh.
Controlled up, he's right next to the shrine. He's gonna be forced to activate it here. Healed up by Fada as well. There's no counterplay they can really make right now.
And now that the shrine's been used,
he's just going to continue to be kited around here, and he's so by himself. Hanskin tries to come in. They do manage to get the locking down Fada. Fada is going to die in this fight. He does have a buyback, though. The Guardian Angel thrown out. That's going to slow down the damage. Shot slow, staying alive thanks to this purification.
He's got all 3 cores on him right now.
Trying to run him down still. The missile's going to come in. That stun isn't going to last for long, but it looks like it's just going to be long enough to be able to get the kill. On the high ground miss, but finally 33 is there to be able to collect it. He already got FNG. Now he's going to try and chase down Vampire or Dream. Dream, he doesn't have a BKB right now, and they have the unstable concoction. They're going to be able to get a chain stun. The 4-step gets him away from the silence, and he's going to be able to time walk out now. Nico Baby instead going for the Rubik. The time dilation slowing him down. And Void, they do have another silence. They're going to be able to get the RP. Hanskin saying, finish off this carry. I brought him to you. The counter skewer doesn't save Vampire. GPK diving in deep. He does have the BKB. He's going to try and finish off some of these heroes.
Lions are taking a lot of damage here.
They bought back already. GPK, slide of fist after slide of fist. Now Vampire, telekinesis 1 second. The chain's able to stop the TP, but a 4-step out from Vampire. Is able to get GPK back a little bit farther. They're going to be kited. Alliance are so low. Can they buy back on anybody else? Nobody else has it.
They just needed one more hero for that engagement.
Oh, no. Gambit could have had the opportunity to turn that fight and wipe Alliance, but nobody had a buyback besides Vampire.
Get that damage done by GPK in that fight. He gets into all 5 heroes. They needed anything at that point. But the Chronosphere, that was not ideal. Only finding Fada, who immediately bought back after that anyways.
It was fine before when you were so much stronger than Alliance, but now letting these cores go running around with their BKBs, you're just going to lose so much of your backline during that.
He's going to get another Ags for his Night Stalker. This is going to make 33's life a lot better too, and you can see the net worth shoot up because of the Ags that was given.
Yeah.
Like now it's not just the Alk that's going to be a problem. This next Roshan, though, likely to determine a lot of this game. Dire's going to scan. They're going to see that they're in there. 5 seconds until the Rubik's up. Gambit this time around will have everything available to them, as well as a DD rune. Dream will likely want to get his level 18 before they take this fight.
This is going to work nicely for Alliance. Roshan doesn't spawn for another 1.5 minutes. That's going to sync up nicely with this next nighttime. I think that's why Gambit really wanted to go into the pit. See if they can force that engagement while it's still day.
2 minutes left until it's natural night. Alliance posturing around the area. They know they can't give up an Aegis cheese. If there's anything to fight for, it's this. And their lineup has finally found its legs.
They can just get the Satanic for the Gyrocopter plus his level 20. He can start kiting around the Faceless Void a lot better.
Yeah, he's starting to get really strong because of the Ags that was given to him.
Yeah. If you can activate the Satanic right before the Chronosphere, you'll just keep healing up thanks to the Aghanims.
That was the Ags for 33 now too, right?
Yeah.
So their net worth has just shot up.
Yeah, that's the great thing about some of these Alchemist lineups. They hit a really big mid-game window, and they don't fall off immediately because of the Aghanims that are spread about.
Yeah, they just have better cores for this game too to utilize those Ags.
Yeah.
Call down's gonna get laid out. Roshan's still not quite up. So Gambit, because they have the curry over here, they feel pretty comfortable just pushing out the lanes. Alliance is gonna walk in, claim this high ground. Dream is around the area. He would love a fight with this DD, and Roche just spawns as they leave the pit.
Gambit, no, they've got a courier in place for it. But first, they have to fight over the bounty runes. Good push coming into the bottom lane thanks to GPK. And nobody from Alliance is going to move to deal with that. They want to maintain this high ground space. They just don't have any boots of travels or anything to make that kind of move.
Fada has to be so careful with his positioning. The team fights are won or lost on whether or not he gets his ulti off, and this time around he won't have his buyback.
Bounty's up. Alliance just going to play for one of them at this point, not being greedy whatsoever. Still a double damage on Dream.
And he's just going to go in with the Solar Crest. Alliance have no idea about this. And they don't have a scan or anything like that either, and GPK is going to push forward. I don't think they know.
Anybody get a chance to look inside the pit?
In 33, might think about popping his Dark Ascension here.
Lim's going to come in, throw out the call down. There's the vision.
They're going to know that it's really low, though. They know that Dream's been in there, and his DD was popped for this.
4,000 HP. Now 3,000 Alliance. They're going to be forced to make a move here eventually. 33 looks inside the pit once again, throws out the silence real quickly, trying to deal with Dream, but Roshan, as well as Void's beating on him. He's going to throw out the Chronosphere, but he's not sure who to hit. He's trying to hit Roshan to be able to get the Aegis and cheese, and he does manage to grab it just in time while GPK jumps onto the back line. Fada protects himself, though, with the magic immunity. Now he's going to turn around, try and get the lockdown on the Ember Spirit. They do manage to get him. A silence, unstable concoction is up. They also have the silence there. Chain stunning him. They bring him down in time. The Force Staff, the Purification, he's away. He's able to get out now, but Dream actually jumped in a little bit too deep. He may have just fed away his Aegis. He's trying to get to the other side of the clip with Time Walk. He does manage to do so just in time.
Had the blink, but just not the distance on it. All 5 heroes were clumped up for a second. Alliance, they want to take that fight because they know that Chrono's down, even though they do have Aegis. And the timing of that Chrono is going to mean more to them.
Well, it does mean that Alliance can actually get 3 bounty runes from earlier. Everybody was paying so much attention to top, nobody could rotate to bottom. They're going to go back in, though. They really want to fight Dream, even if he doesn't have... if he does have that Aegis, they're going to be able to find Fada. Fada just wrong positioning, has to use the false promise on himself, but they do manage to get the silence on Dream. That's going to be him down. That's going to be the Aegis gone, but when he comes back up, he'll have BKB, and Nico Baby's in trouble. He needs to be able to activate his BKB, but he's being chased on for so long. Hanskin gets his ulti off now. 2-man stun, but immediately Dream is going to be woken up thanks to the purification coming out from the Omni Knight. Lim's going to go down now. Fada's going to be chased down by GPK as well. 33 coming in through the back line. They want to be able to catch shots low, but another great Force Staff up into the high ground. A slowdown from 33, but Nico Baby's left alone without his BKB. No opportunity to be able to blink away. Now they manage to get the latch. FNG, he catches both 33 and Hanskin together. They're going to try and chase him down, but 33 slowed down by being attached to Hanskin's fate. Finally, they do manage to break up, but GPK, no Aghanim Scepter just yet, so he can't chase any further out of Remnants.
Fada has to be more careful about the positioning.
Yes.
Just getting caught out right there made things so hard. Nico Baby, they almost bursted him down. I mean, that was a pretty ideal. Didn't get a single bash.
Dream is saying, are you kidding me? So many times I've just not had the bashes when I needed them. But now he does have a Satanic. Can Gambit, though, go for the high ground? Gotta collect some items first. The Aghanim Scepter's still waiting in GPK's stash. Shachlo's actually gonna try and get one too. That way his positioning won't really matter too much. He can Guardian Angel from wherever he's at.
Now that 11k gold lead that we once saw cut to 6. Nico Baby down. They want to take advantage of this. Grab the last outer tower. Gambit feeling themselves. Alliance, they have to do a better job of protecting Fada. It's not just all on him.
Yeah.
He's often being left alone without a circle around him. Their item builds also not the same as Gambit's, where they're able to just save their supports.
Yeah,
have to do
Fada's
a better job of helping him out. I mean, he only has boots.
Yeah, he's broke, so he needs the Glimmer Capes and Force Staffs to come from his allies.
Yeah, but none of his cores able to get one.
Well, he's got the 120 GPM, so maybe that'll change things for him in 10 minutes' time.
He needs something defensive right now.
Yeah.
It looks different when Vampire is able to double Force Staff with shot slow somebody out of any position. There were multiple times where the Ember, for example, should have been caught out, but GPK, his team, able to help him in a pinch.
Got to be a bit nervous. They're going to smoke up right now. They know this is a great opportunity. They may not have Blink, but they have Force Staff on Vampire with the stolen reverse polarity. It's a huge team fight advantage, but if they get overzealous and have the wrong positioning as a result, Alliance, though, playing on the low ground right now as the Bounty Rune's about to spawn. 33 has his smoke broke. Emperor is going to jump in pretty wildly thanks to his Aghanim Scepter, just trying to get some vision of anybody, but Fada does manage to get the right positioning. 33, though, is a little bit isolated right now. The rest of the team needs to be able to group back up, but Fada is going to be trying to stay with this Night Stalker who's just running in. 33 silencing everybody, slowing him down with the Void as well. They get managed to the Shrine, but FNG's already dead. The Chronosphere is going to be able to lock him down. They're going to focus on the Night Stalker of all these heroes, but he's not dying that fast, and Fada is still ready to go with the False Promise. There's the RP. A counter RP from Hanskin, going to be able to lock down Dream. Dream's not going to get the time walk off in time. Alliance win the fight, and Alliance are going to be able to chase down more. Shot slow. He's going to be found by Nico Baby, and 33. He will be the 4th hero down unless a Force Staff. Now it's daytime too. Maybe he's actually out.
Gonna run himself away, does get caught by the tail end of that shockwave, but Dream, that Chronosphere, that was not the Dream.
No, it certainly wasn't. He's running out of damage. GPK, double damage. I mean, GPK tried so hard to be able to find that Oracle, but Fada...
Shashlo's now been left in no man's land, gonna get stunned up.
Heavenly's Grace is going to be able to make some of these stuns go away, and another great Force Staff. Time after time, this guy finds the angles to be able to get up and down cliffs non-stop.
And they're not going to chase as a result of that, but huge for Fada not to be able to get caught there. He held his position on the left side.
Yep.
33 found a 3-man Void. They ran into the call down. They found FNG once again. Gambit supports got a little bit too over-aggressive there. Such a cool game where so much of it is determined by support positioning on both ends.
And it seems like both teams are pretty confident in their late game, too. I mean, Gambit really could have tried to push the envelope a bit more, but after all, they've got this Faceless Void hard carry who is working his way towards being 6-slotted.
Yeah, it's a little worrisome, though, that he wasn't able to burst down any hero in that Chronosphere.
Oh, yeah. Trying to go for 33, but he had 17 armor. And even still, even if he did get low, Fada would have saved him. He was there, ready to go with the False Promise outside the Chronosphere.
Game starting to get a little bit messy for Gambit, who had, again, an excellent mid-game. But 1 or 2 sloppy fights, and Alliance with great positioning. Trying to pull things back a little bit.
Yeah, in the mid game, it felt like all the sustain from Gambit was a huge advantage, right?
Yep.
Thanks to that Omni Knight, but now that Omni Knight, that sustain is kind of playing against him. He can't provide damage inside the Chronosphere. And Alliance is beginning to weather through that Void and all of his burst inside
Especially
Chrono.
because now they were able to give Nico Baby space. He pays that back by getting the 2 Ags. We saw how good it was on the Night Stalker in that one engagement. When they ran up the high ground, he voids 3 heroes. Both supports feel like they have to continue to go up. The call down, lay down on top of them.
Soon he can start going for Moon Shards as well. Looks like that's what he's got queued up for now. Level 25s.
I like
will
it.
be
He's just
coming
gonna
up
make
soon.
Limp stronger and stronger. Said Limp, you might have not had the best game, but I'll artificially make it better.
Nico Baby may just have to pass over the reins of carry to this gyrocopter.
GPK.
Level 25 GPK with Aghanim Scepter.
Dream's gonna walk up onto the high ground.
Nico Baby charging up the Unstable Concoction, wants to be able to get that Omni Knight as always, but beautiful Soul Bind immediately from FNG. Slowed down, 33 tries to get on top of him, but there is Dream, able to lock him down with the Chronosphere. He's gonna focus on him while GPK distracts everybody else. He managed to force spot it to use False Promise on himself. Oh, the skewer in! Dream, he time walks straight into the skewer. Now he's gonna be RP'd up, but he does have the grace. Not good enough, the damage too much from Alliance. Now the counter RP from Vampire, only hitting takes down that Rubik, silencing him as well, and leaving the carries to be able to finish up the kill. Alliance, what a beautiful skewer. Just happened to be timed right as the time walk in.
And Dream also gave Hanskin that opportunity, though. He very confidently time walked in.
Yeah.
But he didn't really have anything left. They're going to lose some more heroes here.
Gonna be saved, Heaven the Grace as well as Solar Crest, and now Nico Baby, he's overextended himself. He doesn't have the Chemical Rage, he's already dead. GPK knows it too. He's moving on to the next target. That's gonna be the Night Stalker, 33.
Uses
Hot
buyback
chained, forced out the BKB. He doesn't have a TP though. It's good enough. Roshan not up for another 2 minutes. Something that Gambit are gonna be quite sad. Another advantageous Roche timing for Alliance.
Game getting quite stressful for both teams now.
Yeah.
Nico Baby just got ahead of himself a little bit.
Level 25 the Gyrocopter, not the greatest, 3 homing missile charges, but we do have 25 on the Alchemist. That's a big upgrade in damage with the base attack time being lowered.
I feel like Dream is maybe getting a little bit frustrated. He sees the Night Stalker, he's like, screw it, I'm gonna chrono whoever I see.
Yeah. He's trying to protect his supports, who admittedly do add a decent amount of damage to the team fight. But maybe he's overreacting a bit. Meanwhile, GPK, he did a really good job. He just dove into Alliance and immediately went for Fada, and Fada was forced to use the false promise on himself rather than running forward and saving the Night Stalker. A good idea, but sadly didn't work to execution as Dream, just running out of damage here.
And unfortunately for Gambit, Roshan will not spawn in time. The Alk is about to be up if they're maybe a little bit luckier.
Maybe they can still do something though if they control the power runes. It's an invis rune there, but at bottom, a double damage, one of those game-changing runes.
I'd like Gambit to be able to check that one. Just because you know these opportunities still exist at this point in the game. It's 46 minutes in. They're worried though. They have no vision down there. And Alliance could just be camped up, getting their own bounty runes and their own power rune.
33 has a Ghost Scepter alongside the gem. He's going to spot out the double damage. So instead, the opportunity turns to Alliance. As Gambit are so focused on controlling the pit area around Roshan that they haven't gone down to that bottom wave.
Roshan is going to spawn, maybe not the best timing anymore for Gambit, as a DD Limp is going to come in. And again, this all comes down to positioning, Cap. Can they find Fada? What kind of jump do both teams get?
Fada. Not sure if he had it last time, but he does have a Glimmer Cape now, so maybe that will protect him from GPK when he dives in with his Shivas and BKB. He does not want to have to use False Promise on himself. That's the worst possible situation. Just tries to attack Roshan right away with the Solar Crest from the side.
And Alliance is about half HP. They're going to smoke up right now. Limp is just going to confidently walk in. If it breaks, he knows for a fact that somebody's in the pit.
They don't have the call down to get vision inside. 33 does want to pop the Dark Ascension right away.
They're going to walk all the way around. This might be a mistake.
What's happening here?
Alliance is going all the way around thinking they can find Gambit in a weird position, but instead they're just going to give up the Aegis for free.
They're going to be able to jump onto the supports on the sideline, but is this going to be good enough? The Unstable Concoction landing onto FNG with the Chronosphere locking the 2 down and letting FNG turn around and get the Soul Bind. GPK jumps onto the back line, hoping to be able to catch Fada, but Fada already got the False Promise off to the Alchemist. The Alchemist beating down Drain. He's already taken away the Aegis. Now he looks to be able to catch Shotzo. No, he's going to turn back. Maybe start retreating with that False Promise a little bit, but Limp is still playing very far forward. Into Dream he goes. Nico Baby went to the back line trying to catch on FNG. A second Chronosphere comes out, and that's going to be the Gyrocopter. A buyback from him. 33 quite low, blinking forward, trying to stay on top of those supports with a Void, but it's GPK who wants to be able to finish off Fada. Almost has him too. Commits heavily, but here comes Limp with a buyback. He's going to be able to chase away that Ember Spirit while Hanskin and 33 and alongside Nico Baby. Nice two-man set for the Unstable Concoction. We got to be able to get to the Void. A beautiful RP. Look, another two. They can't activate the Shrine. They're both dead. Shotzo, he activates the Shrine for himself and Heaven the Grace away, but he goes away. GPK died while trying to chase away Fada, who he never even killed. A disastrous fight for Gambit. Now Shotzo's going to be chased to the infinite ends of the earth. He will be caught eventually here, surely, as Nico Baby may take the time to be able to clean up FNG instead. Homing missile after homing missile. Looking to be able to run down that Omni Knight. He got back to the Shrine. FNG survives. Oh, then now they've gone too far. Night Stalker. Gem on the deck, but he wants to be able to catch Limp. Limp is healed up with the Satanic, but he doesn't have the BKB anymore. And Limp fighting up against the Ember Spirit. He's not going to win this man fight. Hanskin needs to be able to save him somehow. A forced F1, a skewer to the side, but GPK definitely dodges it once again with his lighted fist. Now, unstable concoction. He does manage to get that stun on GPK, immediately taken away. They have in the grace, and Nico Baby's just forced to stand and fight against 3, and now he's going to die. Alliance, they dove too deep, they went too far, and now they pay the ultimate price.
What kind of dive was that from Alliance? They were perfectly fine. FNG, yes, he used his dieback, but does it really matter at that point?
We started off this game 3 talking about the pressure of what this game means, either being eliminated or going into the grand finals. And that pressure right here in those high adrenaline situations where you win the big team fight, you lose your mind, you go a little too far.
If they don't make that play, they can just confidently march down. They'll be playing 2v5, 3v5 in fact.
Yeah.
And they'll feel really good about that position.
I mean, they just want to fight against Aegis and Refresher Shark too. Like, you had to be confident you could take another fight if you just chill.
They know there's no buyback on Dream, and instead they're put in this position where Limp, he's dead for 60 seconds. This is likely gonna lead to at least a Rax. Dream is gonna respawn at the perfect time. Alliance, without any of their cores, they've gotta be so careful about losing any of their supports now. And Grimstroke, the timing of his stun, when it explodes onto both cores under the tower. Pressed up, Alliance do have the glyph. Dream's gonna find a double damage rune.
They've got 35 seconds. What are they gonna do right after they take this tier 3?
We'll see if GPK can find any sort of initiation. Dream with this DD rune, they might even go for more.
Can you fight with the Gyrocopter still down for that small window, or Gambit just gonna take
I think they should
just
take
the one,
set.
just the 2?
I think you take another set here with the DD.
One more set, double damage, still has plenty of time. But are they gonna get caught though? Maybe just the melee racks and back?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what Dream says. He's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Gyrocopter's coming back up, boys.
If you don't get the DD, you actually just take 1 Rax, and that's it. But because of the DD, Dream gets there in time, and they even find a shrine for their troubles. They're gonna go up by 8k gold. What a swing that was. Coming on the heels of Alliance, just diving into tier 4 towers for a 5 support.
And grouped up perfectly for GPK to make that big jump in.
What does the win probability even look like after that one? You can see that defining play where that happened.
Yep, bounce back and forth, up and down, but right now in the favor of Gambit. Gambit though, they're gonna start recovering a lot of their buybacks, both the Void and Rubik. They're gonna have theirs soon. And Alliance, they need to farm up some gold to get some of theirs back, such as on 33.
And it's a regen rune, Arcane rune at bottom.
This game can still go either way. Any more level 25s yet? No. Do have the Void with the 25% backtrack. And Omni Knight with the Heavenly Grace cooldown. That's why there have been so many Heavenly Graces. A 6-second cooldown for a 12-second duration. 2 people are gonna have a Heavenly Grace on them in these fights, making it really tough for Alliance to keep the lockdown on these guys.
The buyback's now available for this Faceless Void, and there's none on Limp. Gotta be careful about their positioning. Vada's done such a good job, by the way, since the mid-game where he was getting caught out.
Yep.
Now he's recognizing his positioning matters so much.
You could see he is improving from game to game. These little things from the 5 position, obviously new to the position from this season, played off lane last year, and most of his career was a mid laner.
This top push, by the way, is gonna alert Gambit to the fact that nobody's here.
Yeah.
Almost certainly in their jungle.
Alliance is very obviously playing aggressive, and Gambit will just sit inside their base until somebody shows, and as they do, immediately pop back out. Octarine now for GPK. Recharge time starts getting a little insane.
GPK's been insane in the last 2 games, by the way.
Yeah.
This Ember Spirit does so much work. He's made so many fights theirs with his play and his positioning, dancing around them non-stop.
Trying to poke at the Alchemist here. See if they can force out a BKB. And he's got to be careful, too, of the Chainsaw because of the Scythe of Ice that was picked up by FNG. Will be able to get that Chainsaw stable into the Chronosphere with the False Promise already there. Vada in position, in time to be able to save this Alchemist. And he stood start regenerating up. Oh, what a skewer! They're going to be able to group all these heroes up. They don't even necessarily need a chains on after that one. The Alchemist is able to cleave through almost all of them. GPK still going to be alive. FNG dead with no buyback. 33 trying to stay on top of these heroes while playing around the cliffs is looking to be able to slow them down with the voids. They're going to make sure that Shoshlo has no chance of retreating, and now 33 chases for more. He's got another void to be able to slow him down. Vampire, he's looking like a juicy, easy target to be able to take down. It's the Rubik, but the GPK, if he's silent long enough, maybe they can actually kill him. They have the grace. Finally, the silence wears out. A sleight of fist, jump over to the left side. 33 hitting with the Ghost Scepter, but lightning procs are hitting him. He's sitting and hiding because
maybe he doesn't have his
Nico Baby right now. Sleight of fist, and finally he does go down. Nico Baby to fall as well. Gyrocopter not going to be bashed up just yet. Another false promise from Vada. That's going to be able to save Limp, who does not have buyback here. But Hanskin, he may not have buyback as well. He gets away with the Shadow Blade. They didn't see him.
He goes to the left, barely has anything up.
He hides
No
away.
buyback. Alk immediately used his. And with the buyback from the Omni Knight, puts them in such a good position. They're going to wait out the bounty runes.
But what do you do here as Gambit? Because you can't really force the fight. You're going to assume that 33 has his buyback. You don't have Chronosphere for 60 seconds. That's long enough for the Oracle to be back up with a little bit of time. I don't think Gambit can do anything for this.
And Alliance, once again, getting a little bit too over-aggressive.
Yes.
Just a little bit too much.
But if they win the next fight like that, there won't be buybacks this time around to turn things for Gambit.
And they still have it on the Void, and it's going to come up in a minute for the Ember Spirit.
That's true. Actually, the Ember Spear is the scariest one, right? Because of all that mobility from the Aghanim Scepter.
Actually, Alliance that are in the much worse position without the buyback now for Nico Baby.
They will have a
Or
buyback
Fada.
coming in for Limp.
Yeah, but
His
Fada's
returns.
buyback matters so much.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to just come back into the fights, buy out, have his ulti available at all times. He saved his course so many different times through that usage.
Yeah, especially with the much lower cooldown of False Promise. Once you get it to level 3, 45 seconds only.
10k gold lead. Gambit should poke right now. With the
certainly
Chronosphere
gonna
up and
try.
no save, if Dream was in position right now, this could be a kill. They're going to take the Shrine instead first. Limp's going to get poked out just a little bit. They've got to be careful about
And it's going
overextending.
to be the Chronosphere. They don't have a save for him. He positioned himself for it because he does have a buyback. He's basically saying, go ahead, Chronosphere me. I'm going to have buyback. We're going to try and win the fight
Honestly, he's
immediately
got RP.
afterwards.
Dream's got to be careful. If he gets way too out of position, he could just skewer him really far back without Gambit being able to make any sort of rebuttal. 80 seconds on Limp. They're trying to see if there's a position where they get a catch with his buyback.
Smoke up 33. He's going to go into the back line with a Dark Ascension while they start the initiation on a Dream. Now, Nico being kited up. They're actually going to turn on to 33. Immediately, they use the Guardian Angel because 33, he wants to try and go for those supports, but can't quite finish him off. The Soulbind under 33, trying to stay away from his supports. Actually, Hanskins gets a little bit too close. He was trying to go for an RP, but now he can't blink forward. So on the left-hand side, they're going to try and chase down Dream. Dream forced to fight during his time walk while it's on cooldown, but as it comes up, he jumps away. But the missile's still chasing him, and he's running low on mana. He's only got 100 mana to work with. That's 2 time walks away. They stable concoction. Can't get away from that one. Can't get away from the missile either. Another one's up in 3 seconds. Forced down. Trying to get him away from the silence. Slowed down by the void. He gets nailed by the call down. That's going to slow him down. But the Lincolns and GPK actually jumping into Alliance to force him back. This time around, Alliance do not overextend themselves.
Look at their base, though. Gambit, they got their void out. GPK just creating this impenetrable wall. The buyback was used by Limp. He had to at that point.
Yeah.
Gambit was daring him, but the fact that they got out with all 5 heroes was
Massive, right? They forced out a buyback from Limp. They still have their buybacks, and in time, they can play
And a
for the
Roshan is up now.
Yep.
They've got buybacks on 2 of their cores, 1 of their supports. Their buyback situation is just looking so much better.
It's so tough to be able to beat this Void when he has the Refresher Shard.
And the Aghanims. That's going to be a big difference, too, in these fights.
Oh, yeah.
They have to usually play around these timings, but...
And
with the
Alliance,
stacks,
it almost feels like they should try and contest Roshan, but I'm not sure if they can.
no,
But
that would be the game at that point. I think you just have to hold for the high ground and hope for the best. You have to trust Fada to not get caught in this fight.
well, they will have 2. Well, they're going to try and push out, but it's a little bit too late in GPK. He just went in a big old triangle, making
love the
sure
way-
that nobody of Alliance could get close with the smoke.
I love the way that GPK is playing, by the way.
Yeah.
He's constantly scouting with his ult. You saw at that bottom engagement when he got the Lincolns off for his Void to save him in the first place. Gonna go for the smoke.
Between the Lincolns and the Heaven, the Grace, it's so hard to lock down Dream.
And Fada, his
You're gonna see
position
double
matters so much.
damage.
He
This is
doesn't
gonna
have
be
buyout.
good position, but Fada, if he's already dead, and he gets executed just like that. He was trying to collect with his team who's playing on the high ground. They saw a double damage. They thought this is a great opportunity. Limp's gonna come in, and he is actually gonna complete that TP, which is by himself. He activates the BKB. He does get the Satanic off, so he's not gonna take any damage. What a beautiful bait from Limp with that TD. That allows the backline to be gone out with the Matter on to 2. The double telekinesis, though, that's gonna help out. The Hex is DT, though. The double scythe. Nico, baby, he's about to fall with 33. Now Limp gets blown up as well, and Alliance lose 4. No buybacks available. Hans gets left alone, and that's it. Gambit pushed it to an hour, but they finish off Alliance in style going into game 3.
How did Gambit win this game? I don't understand the dives from Alliance. The one in the base, they're going to be thinking about that for such a long time.
They are Alliance. They had the composure to come back at DreamHack. Down 0-2 against Demon Slayers, but here at ESL One Hamburg on game 3 against Gambit, they lose their composure and they just overextend a bit too much, and Gambit take full advantage of those mistakes.
It was a 3-on-5. They had everything up. The only way they can lose that fight is if they do what they did. Short of diving the fountain, they gave GPK such a good opportunity to take that fight, and all of a sudden everything turned around. They had to use the buybacks. They weren't able to find anybody in that bottom engagement when Limp was forced to use his buyback. And in the fatal stroke, Fada gets caught out, doesn't have his. Limp TPs into the Chronosphere.
Both these teams pushed to the bitter end of a game 3. Both of them have proven they are very strong contenders for this upcoming DPC season, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to say goodbye to Alliance. It's Gambit who are gonna be moving on. They're gonna get their 3rd chance against TNC in the grand finals.
They come in threes, they say, and Gambit are going to get that chance exactly. They lost 2-0 in the group stages, 2-0 in the upper bracket final to TNC, but they